Hey guys, Jay's on here, and I'm here with another NGS match for you guys. And I've got Clouded Minds and Late Game coming out of the seed. I'm going to get these teams and make sure everybody's ready to go. Are indeed. Alright. We got game number 1 for this match. It is going to be on Towers of Doom. Actually have double scene. There we go. All right. Late game though. Gonna be the map pick for late game though here. Clouded Minds gonna get the first pick, first ban. We'll go into game number 2 for Towers just to go over the coin flip for you guys real quick. Late game though was able to win the coin toss. They decided to ban out Infernal Shrines. Dragonshire was the map of ban for Clouded Minds. Then had Towers of Doom being picked up by late game though, and Clouded Minds picked Tomb of the Spider Queen, which we'll be going to next. So going over real quick for Towers of Doom. A lot of different strategies can be employed here on Towers. It's a very unique map here. So really just a lot of different ways you can approach this map, a lot of different strategies. A lot of people will often go with heavy wave clear heroes. Globals are always a big priority here. Having good siege potential to be able to take advantage when you do get a good team fight and be able to push down a bell tower can be nice. But mostly it's based around sustain and poke and disruptions. Right away we're going to see Sylve banned out, so no cheesy strategies coming out for or against Clouded Minds after that ban. We're going to see Hanzo be the ban of choice here. For the side of late game, though, wanting to deny probably the strongest hero in the meta right now. And Dahaka is going to be picked up here for Clouded Minds. So we talked about the global potential, which can be very impactful here, being able to rotate quickly from lane to these altar points. Of course, all of these altars have quite a lot of brush to be able to stalk into, be able to quickly get yourself to one of the altar turn-ins to contest or to try and grab it. We'll see the Chromie and the Greymane on the other side, so I really like that combination. Chromie, of course, very good on the poke, very good on the denial in terms of being able to just try to really deny the ability for people to get these altars casted. But Chromie, typically not the best hero in the game for finishing kills. You know, she's good at chunking heroes and poking them down, but you know, a lot of times enemy teammates or enemy team will just back up if they get chunked and try and get back to the safety of their support or tap a healing well. Greymane can be a nice combo with that because he's able to dive in with that Dark Flight and go for the throat to be able to get those finishing kills, possibly even get a reset, go after a second hero with that go for the throat ultimate. What Clouded Minds wants to respond here. They're definitely taking their time to think about it. They could decide to go for a support here or possibly a tank to be able to apply the chokehold. They will actually do both. So now at this point, having their solo lane, the frontliner, or the frontline tank, I should say, and the support, they can really pick their poison on which one they, or pick the poison for late game, though, of what they want to try and choke out here with this next ban. With Lucio off the table, I would say probably the support could be the best role to ban out here, being able to possibly get rid of a Stukov, maybe a Malfurion, Rhaegar. There are still a few different strong supports, but I would say Stukov is probably one of the strongest. As for the side of late game, though, they're probably going to want to focus on banning a high damage dealer, possibly a Genji, something that can very easily dive Chromie and try and get after them. I imagine these teams have probably scouted, and there it is, the Genji in the other Shimada brother. So right now, late game, though, taking the Shimadas right off the table. Clouded Minds could also decide to go with the tank ban. They could deny the ETC. It could also maybe just deny a more pestering tank in the front. Able to do a nice job of poking out and denying the turn-in objectives. So they are hovering the ETC, but Johanna or Diablo could also be on the table for bans. ETC, probably the best tank in the meta overall, but obviously not pairing with what Clouded Minds wanted to do here with the Nubarak, so instead they're going to look to ban that out. They could alternatively also look to ban out a solo laner that Dahaka might have a hard time banning out, but that's what I mean by the fact that they just have all the options in the world here. Greymane could be their solo laner, but more than likely late game though is going to want a tank, a support, and a solo lane to follow up this Greymane. So Clouded Minds able to throw cold where they want, and they will decide to take ETC off the table. So what I'd really like to see here from late game though is to pick their solo lane and their tank. They don't have any idea what Clouded Minds is planning on doing for damage here. 2 more picks. It's going to be 2 of these probably backline damage dealers for Clouded Minds. If late game though picks their healer right now, if they pick this support, they won't really know what the damage is going to be, and Clouded Minds will know what kind of support late game though has, and so it's gonna make it very difficult. So they do go ahead and stall out the support pick. I love that strategy. They get their 2 frontliners. So Muradin, very strong tank on the front line. Arthas, very strong in the solo lane against Dahaka. So very, very nice picks coming out late game though, back end of this draft. So now Clouded Minds are going to have to look to see what exactly they want to pick for their damage. Something that pairs well with the Lucio and his ability to give them extra mobility. Something with good follow-up for the Nubarak stuns and the Dahaka drag. Probably 1 mage, 1 auto is pretty standard. They want something to be able to trunk and get good damage from a range. So we could end up seeing possibly, the Vala, possibly so they will go with the Ming, and they're actually going to go with another frontline damage dealer. They're going to go with the Malthael. So typically the best counter to the Malthael is, a couple examples are the web wrap from a Nubarak to be able to web wrap him while he's doing his Tormented Souls. Lucio, also a pretty good counter with the sound barrier to be able to really deny a lot of that extra percentage damage with those shields. So now that they have those 2 heroes, Malthael picked up, and there's really not a whole lot of counters left for the side of late game though. Tyrael Sanctification obviously is not going to be an option they can go for here with that support. So they are going to go with Stukov. Can be a decent counter either with the massive shove to push Malthael out, or the flailing swipe to give their team some room when Malthael tries to dive in. And just in general, strong healing potential and good sustain. So probably the best option that was left on the table for late game though. But I do like what Clouded Minds has built here. They have good potential damage follow-up. They are going to be able to put the web wrap onto whichever member they want. I would probably do the Arthas or Greymane on the front line, but it's not a bad idea to wrap up the support and prevent that healing and the possible disengage with flailing swipe. So we'll have to see how these teams want to play it. We go into game number 1. We'll be on Towers of Doom. A big fan of this map in general. Not your standard strategic map where you're looking for your number 1 priority being structure damage. Really, it's all based around the map objective. Being able to get an XP lead on this map is very important. So globals, like with the Dahaka, being able to stay in lane a little bit longer, get a little bit of extra side soak, while everybody else has to rotate out to the altars, can be very, very impactful. But we are loading in here for game number 1 on Towers. It is going to be Clouded Minds on the left, Star Knight Be on the Anubarak, the Great Hari. Be on the Dahako. Wenis is going to be on the Lucio. Swing going to be on Liming. And Tiger Fish on Malthael. On the right, late game though,
10 seconds.
Going to be Troth on the... he's spinning too much.
5,
on the Arthas.
4.
It is going to be Hobbs on the Greymane. The Krakazak. Yeah, McCrackazak is going to be on the Muradin. We're going to have Hype Curtis on the Stukov, and Robwins is going to be on the Chroma. All right, so both teams rotating 5 to the mid. WrestleMania will commence here. We are going to see the time trap hitting onto Star Knight. No real follow-up. Broth getting in there with that frozen aura there. Blowing the members, but not really getting enough damage out of that. We'll back up, and we'll see him rotating to the top. Meanwhile, both teams kind of leaving 4 here in the mid, starting to rotate out to lane, but Broth will be able to get up there first, but we are going to have Tigerfish coming up to answer him. Too much soak on that up in the top lane. So we will see at 1 minute, we'll see these camps spawning. See if either team wants to prioritize getting themselves some early sappers or that extra map control. We'll bring up these talents for you guys so you can take a look at what these guys are strategizing for here. And you know, heck, I want to see it too. We're going to see the Brushstalker talent here coming out for Dahaka.
Blue team draws.
Ooh, and Arthas falling in that top lane. Tigerfish making the plays. Should have a good matchup against Arthas in the solo lane up here. Meanwhile, the Great Hari down here in the bot lane. Some of the members of late game, though, rotating around. We see the Greymane rotating up to the top lane. Cover for the XP so far. Pretty even on the XP, despite the 1 kill. Tigerfish taking a lot of damage here. Hobble's also getting very low though, so it's gonna have to. Both teams are gonna have to back up and get healed up a bit. Send their low members back to heal. Neither team prioritizing camps just yet in this one. Steady laning phase, getting the XP here early. We are gonna see the triple altar phase activating. See how these teams want to prioritize going into triple altar spawn, which of course will happen in the 1st and 5th map objectives of the game automatically. No other triple altar phases. The rest are random 1 or 2 spawns. We're gonna see these first 2 just being traded out on each side, and both teams are gonna rotate down to this mid altar contest 3rd. Level 5 for both teams. No talent advantage. No real XP or man advantage, but I take that back as Dahaka gets dove in on and completely blown up by the members of late game, though. The stun coming out on the back end there, trying to zone, but they're getting a ton of damage laid out from Robwins, and no contest on the back end to the Chromie. But right now, Robwins is just back there poking away. Another huge amount of damage. Star Knight. We do get the boop coming in onto Hobbs, and they're going to be able to turn around and actually take him out off the back of that. The Great Hari continuing to get poked out by the Chromie as he's trying to cast, but finally going to start rotating to try to contest the Chromie here, who is basically out of mana. So not going to be able to continue to do this for too long, but Arthas is going to end up going down, diving in a little bit too deep. And Swing doesn't really have enough mana to really take advantage of the resets, but they will be able to cap the altar, get another 4 shots going for a late game. I'll have that 4 health lead on the core, and it looks like both teams are content. Go ahead and rotate it back out to lane and resume the laning phase. And at some of these builds, we do have Eternal Hunger Arthas, and he's nearly done with that talent. Have a little bit of extra damage there. Fetid Touch here, as we do see the Dahaka falling once. Boss spawning here at the 5-minute mark. I don't suspect we'll see either team going directly to it. But we are going to see teams pretty much mirror image here as they start to rotate out and prioritize these siege camps. The sapper camps you're able to do solo now because of the way they target, but we are going to see the possible invade here. The Great Hari is at about half health, so they're going to be able to go in on this. They get him slowed with that Fetid Touch, and Makrakazak is here, and we are going to see Dahaka going down here. However, Malthael also falling in the top lane, so very nice play across the map here. For late game though, they're able to steal and get 6 of these sappers heading in towards the bot lane. All the while, the altar has spawned here, so couldn't be really a worse time here for Clouded Minds to lose a couple members. This will be a nice positional advantage for late game though. They should not have level 10 in time. We are going to see they are going to be able to start getting the poke out here. Rob win and that huge Chromie damage. Tigerfish also taking a ton of damage as Hobbs goes in to that Worgen form and is able to get the kill there. However, they have dived in return. Malthael goes down along with the Greymane on the other side. But a 1-for-2 exchange there. But now Swing is getting in deep trying to get Rob wins. But we will see Lucia rotating in to get the finishing blow. This team fight is getting crazy. Back and forth they go. Hype Curtis not going to actually try to go in. And off the heels of that team fight, level 10s come in for late game though. Just a little bit too late for them to really take advantage of that talent here. We are going to see Avatar, Massive Shove, Cursed Bullet, Temporal Loop, and the Army of the Dead coming out here for late game though. Level 10's also now coming in for the side of Clouded Minds. Adaptation, Web Wrap, Sound Barrier, Disintegrate, and Malthael holding his ultimate for now, but I imagine we'll see Tormented Souls. Still hasn't actually selected it here, and actually gets blown up before he's able to really utilize that by the Temporal Loop and the damage coming in. However, they dive in deep to try and get Rob wins. Does make it back to the altar. Massive Shove coming out onto Wenis. Sound Barrier also coming out here. So both teams are going to be able to disengage after that Sound Barrier. It is a 1-for-0 exchange from the beginning of that. Ball of Malthael. We're going to see Bye Bye coming out. Rob wins with that level 11 talent. Able to quickly back, get out of trouble should we see Clouded Minds dive them deep here. Right now, it just looks like late game though is looking to catch somebody out and dominate them. Temporal Loop not quite up yet. They do catch Wenis out a little bit and get some nice damage down, but right now we're gonna see the double altar spawning here in the top. Both teams starting out on their own side. Wenis is casting that nice zoning for Clouded Minds, and they're just going to choose to trade out here in the top for now. Get those respective points out. That is a trade, however, that does favor Clouded Minds as they already have an 8 HP lead. Nothing that late game though can't come back from. Still lots and lots of time. Both teams pretty even on XP. In fact, even a slight level lead for late game though at the moment. 5-7 on the kill count. Guys, a peek at the stats here. Greymane and Chromie doing quite a bit of damage, but at the end of the day, oh well. Meanwhile, we do have the dive in here and the invade from Clouded Minds. They're able to get a kill on a Nubarak though. to try to turn this around. Everybody's stacking in on the point. Swing getting very low. Hobbs is able to get the finishing kill there. And just so many members there, but the silence coming down onto the point. And with that silence coming out from Hype Curtis, they are going to be able to get a full team wipe on that point. Everybody had stacked in on the silence. Like that, they were not able to really cast anything or really contest on that point. So after capping that the pumpkin sapper camp, they will be able to go ahead and grab that altar, or I should say grab that bell tower. The altars are spawning though. Well, we do see a few members here of late game though hiding in the bush. The temporal loop coming out, but actually the Chromie combo misses and Tigerfish makes it out here, as we do see the web wrap coming down. Broth actually getting very low, and it looks like right now Clouded Minds are trying to turn this around. McCrackazak is going to end up going down. Broth barely makes it out alive, and the Great Hari is still on the chase. We'll be able to get him finished off there. The sound barrier also coming out. Greymane is going to fall, and right there, Clouded Minds able to turn this around in a big way. A 3-for-0 exchange. They will be able to take the altar, which will not only give them those 3 shots, but save them a potential 5 shots coming in from late game though. They're able to keep themselves a nice lead here. There was the other altar, I believe, casted from the bot lane though. And so they were able to get some nice shots there, but Clouded Minds will go ahead and cast the boss, capturing that. 4 shots back over, and now all of a sudden it's a 10-shot lead for Clouded Minds, as they are considering invading here.
Heroes, I have opened a tunnel near our core that leads to the battleground center.
They are going to end up going back.
What? I mean,
we do see McCrackazak and Hobbs though down here invading and trying to grab this camp. We are going to see Star Knight though diving in with the burrow charge, and somehow that is enough to deter members of late game though, not having vision on where Clouded Minds was there. Go ahead and back off. Clouded Minds actually rotating to this bottom bell tower. Gonna capture this back with these pumpkin sappers, and they'll be here for the defense as well. Level 16, about a level away for late game though. I don't think they'll be able to pick it up before this triple altar phase is active. It would be a very nice tool for them. However, it's just I think it's too much XP for them to be able to soak between now and then. They are positioning down in this bot area. Meanwhile, 2 members of Clouded Minds are heading towards the top. Right now, they are starting to get in after the members, the 3 members down here. Like right now, they are just going to back up. Meanwhile, Star Knight is contesting up here, gets the web wrap out onto Arthas, and that is going to be an insta-steal. They get the top 2, and that's going to be 8 shots going over Clouded Minds, 4 going to late game though, and now a huge lead. They also are able to pick off the Arthas coming out of that web wrap. Going to catch them up on XP here a little bit. Level 16 should be very achievable. They're also diving in on Hobbs. Tormented Souls coming out. A lot of poke damage coming back from the Chromie. But right now, Hobbs is being chased down by the Lucio, and somehow he manages to get the Greymane. I just don't deal that kind of damage when I'm on Lucio. I don't know what it is exactly. I have to take a lesson here from Wennis. But we do see a nice couple of kills coming in. Level 16 will now be here late game though, but it will not be long until we see Clouded Minds picking up their own level 16 talents. Wow, the siege is on here in the bot lane for Clouded Minds, as they are looking to put some pressure on this bottom bell tower. Arthas is split up in the top lane, so at best this will end up being a 4v5 situation. We do see the temporal loop and the massive shove, but at the end of the day, even isolating out the Dahaka there, they're not able to pick themselves up a kill off of that temporal loop. Now, a couple of the A couple of the heroics down here. Mainly just temporal loop for this next altar phase. We do have the Arthas rotating down, so he should be here in time for this bottom altar. Bell towers are even here, so they're just contesting over a 4v4.
Be swift, heroes.
We do see the drag coming in onto Trough, but the silence is good to be able to give him a little bit of room. Sound barrier coming out here, and Tiger Fish is going to come in with that Tormented Souls. Wennis is the first to fall here, though. Lucio on the one side. Hobbs is very low. He's going to have to rotate out the top. So now really still a 4v4 here until Hobbs is able to get heals in return. But a huge root there coming in from the Arthas. And they are able to get the Arthas down off the heels of that, though. So many members low, but Robwin's not able to get the finishing blows here. Throwing out a ton of damage, chunking them, but not able to get the kills. The Great Hari goes in and actually is going to end up being punished. Swing is still here, though, and the resets are in onto the Chromie, and Hypertus not going to be able to deter them. Clouded Minds are going to get themselves those 4 shots off of the heels of this 4-for-3 exchange. We do have Lucio now back, as he was killed pretty early in that whole process, but Clouded Minds still able to get themselves a big team fight win even without their support. This game is just nuts. But Clouded Minds has done a very nice job of getting themselves a nice advantage in the core health, if nothing else. The XP is still very even, so late game though still has everything they need, all the tools that are necessary for them to come back here. And it is a very comeback heavy map. They are actually still winning the race to level 20, but we are going to see 6 of these pumpkin sappers lined up here in the bot for Clouded Minds. So I would say that the keep is forfeit. Silence coming out though onto those pumpkin sappers. Sound barrier coming out to try and help secure it. They do get the keep, however they are turning onto Tigerfish, and Malthael is going to fall before this bell tower is able to activate for the side of Clouded Minds. And the altar is also going to be spawning here in the mid, so probably something that late game though is going to want to think about is trying to get back this bell tower. But with 38 seconds left on Malthael, they have the man advantage, so huge pick here for late game though. Meanwhile, oh, what a brilliant maneuver. Clouded Minds rotating up to grab the boss. And it doesn't look like late game, though, is going to sniff this out in time. So they're going to give up the 4 shots from the bell tower, but they get themselves the boss. And just like that, late game, though, is down to 1 health on their core.
Your failure will soon be complete.
I'll trying to see if they could set up another pick on Star Knight. Make it back safely, but keep this core very low in health. Late game though have run out of mulligans. Their last opportunity. Oh, and meanwhile Hobbs getting caught out. Nice boop coming in from Wennis, and he is going to be pushed back into Doom. Level 20 right around the corner here. Picked up by late game though. Half a level. So Clouded Minds have 20, but they should have it in time for this next altar to be spawning. Great Hari taking some poke from Robwins. Robwins does have the Echo of Chromie up here. That extra Sandblast. Ask me, future me.
Once more, the altars rise from the depths.
The altar is spawning here in 26 seconds. 17 seconds on the Greymane. So Greymane should be able to be back, more or less back in time to be able to help contest. Now we're going to have double Sapper camps once again pushing in the bot lane. So pick your poison here. Side of Clouded Minds, making them choose how they want to lose. Ton of time traps sitting in here, and yet somehow they managed to not run into any of them. And they're coming in from the shadows. They get Li Ming instantly blown up there. We are going to see the web wrap coming down onto Chromie, but they're able to get Chromie out of that. Anubarak, though, is the next to fall. Sound barrier coming out. And right now, 2 members of Clouded Minds have fallen. Make it 3 as Malthael falls. And Malthael's going to be able to come back, but this is definitely going to be going over to late game, though, for this altar. But for now, they're keeping their hopes alive. The bell tower falls in the bot lane from those pumpkin sappers, but they still are able to get those 3 shots for now. And they're going to rotate directly onto the left bell tower and take this away from Clouded Minds. Look at the shot calling coming out here from Clouded Minds. They're going to counter rotate to the top, get themselves some damage onto this top bell tower, if not just take it out altogether. All the rest of the members of the side of late game, though, rotate to retake their own bottom bell tower. Bit of anti-siege potential here for Robwins. And with just the 1 wave, probably not enough for them to defend. So nice defense from late game, though. And you know, as their name would suggest, they are starting to get some momentum here in the late game. Wing is taking back this bottom bell tower. Does have a lot of sieging potential with that full Q build. Be able to quickly take that bell tower back. However, late game, though, is posturing up here in the top, and we do see the altar rising. So I think right now they have Hobbs up here out in lane showing. We're trying to see if they can find anybody caught out. We're going to see the time trap being sprung there by Star Knight. The drag, though, in return onto Hobbles. He's going to have to try and get out here. Stukov ends up being the target of that web wrap. And meanwhile, without the ability to heal their team, Anubarak falls, or Greymane should fall, I should say, but Anubarak on the other side also falling here. Li Ming getting very low, gets blown up there by Troth, and all of a sudden it's a 2-for-1 exchange once again, starting to go in favor of late game, though. They have the late game team that they were trying to build. Wennis goes down, Malthael falls, but the cast on the back end from the Great Hari is enough to finish it off. I didn't even see the stock in. Oh my goodness. Clouded Minds with a very nifty move there. Back end to be able to pick up game 1. Late game, though, fell way behind in that one, and they were going to have to play it absolutely perfectly. And the sleight of hand there from the Great Hari been fooling this veteran caster. I didn't see it coming, to be honest. I was so into the team fight there, and so was the side of late game. But overall, a very nice match coming out from Clouded Minds. Overall, doing a nice job of playing the macro game, rotating around, and just in general, showing a lot of map presence. And finally, they do end up picking up the win. Game number 2, we're going to be heading over to Tomb of the Spider Queen. So we're going to set this lobby up for you guys. Be right back. Right, game number 2 on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Clouded Mines up 1 over late game though, and this is going to be the map pick also for Clouded Mine. I'll have to see if they have strategy in mind here. That's kind of what I expect out of a team that picks their own map. Also worth noting that Clouded Mines ranked 5th here in the Division C West in the power rankings last week. Meanwhile, late game though, number 9. So kind of matchup definitely favoring side of Clouded Mines. We'll have to see if late game though has anything here in game number 2 for them. They definitely had some nice team fighting in that game number 1. So wouldn't put it past them here, that's for sure. Sylvanas will again be the ban here. Wanting to avoid any cheesy strategies, Sylvanas also pretty decent on this map with the pushing map objective of these web weavers. Gonna go ahead and ban that out. The Hanzo being banned out by late game though. Not wanting to deal with any geometry today. It's Sunday, it's not exactly the day you want to be dealing with math. So first pick coming out here for late game though, quite a lot of good options. Definitely a wave clear heavy map, so we could end up seeing one of the higher wave clear heroes picked to start. Sonya, definitely one of the higher wave clear heroes. Dominant solo laner, did receive some nerfs recently. Some of her stronger talents, but we'll have to see how much that really affects her long term in the meta. I still think very strong, especially in coordinated team play. She's still a very strong camp taker and very good in sustaining in the solo lane. 2 picks here for Clouded Mines. See if they want to try to avoid any of these potential chokeholds from this second rafting phase. Could try to pick up a tank and or healer here to start out. Could also decide to go one of the higher damage dealers, ETC, Lucio on the table. Genji also still available if they want to go into the more dive-centric style. Arthas is going to be picked up, and the Lucio, so a very strong combo to start here. Lucio with that extra speed and mobility, Arthas with the ability to slow down the enemy team. A very good counter also to the Sonya, who in general has a hard time sticking to targets and getting that damage out once she does engage, and the Arthas making that all the more difficult. We are going to see Lunara coming out here from late game though, so Lunara, good wave clear, good spread damage, but it's mostly tick damage that Lucio is pretty well equipped to deal with here. We are going to see the Ariel coming out as well, so we haven't seen a lot of Ariel in this meta. Mainly because there's a lot in the game right now that counters her main ultimate, which is Crystal Aegis. A lot of strong heroes right now that have good AoE follow-up to a stasis, such as the Crystal Aegis. Including Arthas Howling Blast, and if you can time it right, you can really take that Crystal Aegis from an advantage to a severe disadvantage. But we are going to see the ETC hover here. Once again, Clouded Mines, maybe the cow coming out in this. But Lunara is a very powerful Ariel battery. So should be nice for them to be able to go for that here. So they do end up banning out the ETC. Flying a bit of a tank chokehold. Arthas, typically, we're not seeing Arthas as a main tank as much as like a, you know, there were more seeing Arthas in the double tank format. But he definitely can solo tank, depending on the enemy team's comp. He could actually be fairly effective at it. But I would still expect Clouded Mines to pick up a another strong frontline tanky hero. But ultimately, we'll have to see. Let's see what exactly I want to try and go with here. They do have the Lucio, so Malthael could be something they go after once again this game. It's a good counter to the Sonya in the solo lane. They've, you know, and again, one of the bigger denials of that Tormented Souls is the sound barrier. Anubarak's also been taken off the table here, banned out by late game though, so we're not going to see the web wrap coming out once again. So that's another potentially good game for Malthael. But instead they're going to go with Tyrael and Kerrigan. So Kerrigan, a very strong pick here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. She's a very early game hero. Very good pick potential and good pairing with Arthas. Not to mention the extra speed she gets from Lucio to be able to help her engage. Good spike damage and isolated potential onto squishy backliners like Lunara and Ariel. Particularly Ariel, who has no extra mobility talents at all. And has only the slightest ability to disengage with that detainment strike. So we could see a pretty heavy prioritization on to trying to get picks on Ariel. Tyrael also very good at being able to dive in and aid in that, you know, divey style that Kerrigan likes to play.
Another battle.
And we're gonna see Samuru coming out here for late game though,
The Crusade
along with the
calls.
Johanna. So good wave clear potential. Samuru does have pretty amazing wave clear and is a competent solo laner as well. I would expect to see Sonya, but we could see Samuru in the solo lane. Samuru also pretty good camp taking potential. And post 10 with that Illusion Master, also kind of that global ability to side soak lanes with the clones. That's kind of pseudo global to be able to swap position with the clones, and is also decent at keeping an eye on the turn-ins. It is going to be Malthael coming out here, so very scary comp coming out from Clouded Mines. Very forward-centric, very dive-centric. They're going to want to get after the members of late game, though. Try and rip apart their comp. And I feel like they're going to have some success. After seeing that last game, and, you know, seeing the coordination that they do, the coordination and the macro play they are able to utilize, I fully expect them to be able to execute well with this comp. And I just don't think that late game though has the tool to be able to deal with this heavy dive. I would love to see them prove me wrong here. The Johanna does have decent peel. You know, does obviously have the blinds to be able to try to deal with the dive in, but if they are able to dive past the Johanna and catch any of the members of late game though out, it could end up being a tough game for them. They do have the Aegis to try and prevent the blow up post 10. Let's see if that's enough. Clouded Mines can take advantage of that. But on the left, we are loading in here onto Tomb of the Spider Queen. On the left, it is going to be Clouded Mines. Swing is going to be on the Kerrigan. Venus is going to be on the Lucio. The Great Hari is going to be on Arthas. Star Knight is going to be on Tyrael. And Tigerfish on the Malthael. On the right, late game though, Rob Wins is going to be on the Nara. Hobbs on the Ariel. McCrackazak is going to be on the Sonya. Ghost is going to be on Samuro. And Troth is going to be on the Johanna. So both teams yet again going to be rotating as 5 to the mid to start this off. Star Knight checking the bush with that Aldruins. Gonna find a Wisp waiting there. Great Hari taking a little bit of damage, but is able to disengage. Like we are just going to see both teams focusing more on the wave clear, not so much on the team fighting. As I say that though, decent amount of damage coming out from the Great Hari. Swing missing with that Kerrigan combo. For now, it is going to be late game though that actually gets the pressure here in the mid. Start out the rotations. On the bottom side, Tigerfish. Nice job of getting down here quickly and getting a little bit of an advantage here in the wave clear game and the XP advantage, but Kragazak is here. He's going to be able to answer and get some nice sustain with the minions, but definitely a matchup that favors Tigerfish there. Bot lane, we'll try and keep an eye as we go. The standard 4-man rotation here from late game though. They have been rotating very nicely to start this off. They have just a little bit of a gem advantage. Nothing ridiculously large, but we are seeing them at least pressure in the lanes. A little bit of damage, tiny bit of damage out onto the towers. Mostly picking up these gems quite well. But we do see the 4-man rotation also starting to form in here for Clouded Mines. It does look like they're going to be diving in after Rob wins. The Kerrigan combo hits, stuck in the slow, and Rob wins does get a last-second heal from Hobbs and is able to back up and get back to safety. That is the power of this 4-man combo with Kerrigan for Clouded Mines. If we do see Swing get in there, hit that Kerrigan combo, the Great Hari is going to be able to do a nice job of keeping the members stuck in that slow. The level 4 is coming out from both teams. 8 gems so far in the bank for Clouded Mines. Hobbs actually finding Swing out a little bit here. Or is it the other way around? The drag in, but no combo to try and follow it up. For now, Swing is going to have to back up. Gems have pretty well evened out here between these two teams as the rotations continue. Star Knight actually getting hit by that detainment strike, but the combo on the other end hits too. Swing is able to do a nice job of stealing some of the attention from Star Knight and preventing them from really being able to pursue. Swing yet again getting in after Ghost this time. Actually bring up these talents for you guys so you guys can take a look how these teams are building for this game. 8 so far onto the level 1 talent there for Arthas. Tries to hit those Howling Blasts, and Samiru is a nice ability to do that, as we do see the combo coming out onto Hobbs. This is going to hit the detainment strike to get the Arthas back. Be able to disengage once again. No kills yet in this game. Both teams are hitting good combos and getting good pressure, but haven't been able to really finish anybody off just yet. As we do see a decent amount of damage coming down onto Hobbs, and they are on the pursuit here as they are trying to get the damage out. One last heal from Hobbs, but it is not going to be enough. Ariel is going to fall. The combo coming out also onto Rob Wins, escaping with about 100 health here on the back end. Star Knight and the Great Hari getting very low, but they're going to be able to go make it back with that Lucio speed and be able to tap. Meanwhile, Ghost, almost being caught out in the combo, is able to throw out those images though and get back to safety. Yeah, First Blood going over to the side of Clouded Mines there. That's going to be their game. If they are able to find their way to the Ariel and get the combo and the melee in there to be able to go for that damage. Oh, but Tigerfish actually caught out here, is escaping through the bot lane. Roblin's actually deciding not to pursue there. But first Web Weaver phase coming out here for Clouded Mines. We're going to have those blue Web Weavers spawning here in just a few seconds. And it looks like They're going to focus on the mid, while the Web Weaver in top is going to be pushing all the way into the keep front wall, or the fort front wall here. Froth is coming up to start to answer to that. But is not going to be able to clear it out all by himself here. We will see the majority of late game, though, trying to defend here in the mid, which is where Clouded Minds seem intent to push. They do have Malthael pushing in the bot lane, which will get them a little bit of extra value on that Web Weaver and the lane soak down in that lane. That's really all you're looking for from an initial Web Weaver turn-in here on Tomb of the Spider Queen, is to get the XP advantage. But the combo coming out there, swing, not quite able to isolate anyone, though. Many of the members of late game, though, staying together and staying topped off here from Hobbs and that nice AoE healing. In the bot lane, though, Web Weaver has gone through the front wall of the fort and gotten about a little more than half, actually, about 3/4 now of the damage on that fort. So they almost get the fort, but at the end of the day, no real level advantage. We see that nice soaking, nice defense all around from late game, though. Combo, once again, not quite finding its mark there. On to Rob wins. Lunara may be the... Lunara and Samaru might be the two most difficult heroes to hit that combo on. Troth also, with the Iron Skin, can dodge it, but that can also be timed to just try to use the combo when it's not up. But we do see for right now, late game, though, has turned in their set of Web Weavers. I'll have to see what they can do with them. Level 10 right around the corner for both teams here. Light lead in the race for Clouded Minds, but as they get this top front wall, it should be enough for the late game, though, to also get their level 10s, and there they are. We're going to see Blessed Shield, and it actually is not going to be the... Oh, but meanwhile, we do see the Great Hari being caught out a bit here. Actually is able to dodge the Blessed Shield, but the leap coming in from Makrakazak. Star Knight is going to end up falling along with Arthas. So 2 members going down. They're going to turn around and focus down this top fort. Meanwhile, we do see the defense coming out in the other 2 lanes for Clouded Minds. They are going to lose not only this top fort, but some of the health off this top keep front wall. Side of late game, though, is pushing in. They may be looking for an early keep here. They're going to turn their focus onto the healing well. Oh, and a huge Howling Blast. Freezing a ton of late game, though, and they're going to go ahead and back up. The 5-man push was enough to get the front wall. But anyway, it's not going to be Illusion Master coming out for the Samuro. We are going to see the Whirl, or the Bladestorm, along with Leap, Blessed Shield, Thornwood Vines, and the Crystal Agent. Meanwhile, on the side of Clouded Minds, they're going to be going for the Army of the Dead, Sanctification, Maelstrom, Tormented Souls, and the Sound Barrier. Second turn-in a row here for the side of late game, though, looking to continue to snowball. They have about a level lead so far. We'll have to see what they decide they want to try to do with this Web Weaver. Level 7 questing talent has been finished for Lucio. Oh, meanwhile, huge combo coming down onto Hobbs. Will hit that Aegis onto himself with the Tranquility and Sound Barrier in response. They are able to get in deep and get the kill. They also get the root down onto Rob Wins. But look at the return damage. Swing. So much poison damage is going to be able to make it out here. And Weenus is going to be able to get the healing coming in. My goodness. What a nice return there. From the side of late game, though, they lose their healer. And all the while in the top lane, we didn't even see it. Keep was going down. Very nice dividends there from that Web Weaver turn-in. They also now have the Makrakazak here in the bot lane. The bot Web Weaver was pushed out pretty far, but now has cleared the lane and will get themselves a fort. Level 13 talents are here. Almost a 2-level lead now for late game, though, as they are starting to snowball here in game number 2, which is exactly what you want to do on Tomb of the Spider Queen. If you're able to get that talent tier advantage, and you're able to take out the forts on the other side, they're not really able to rotate around very easily and contest you on these turn-in locations. That said, Clouded Mines trying to turn in the top. It does get interrupted, though, and Lucio gets completely blown up. Tyrael also falling. Tigerfish getting low, but we do see Hobbs coming in to try and get the extra damage out, but Swing ends up going down, and late game, though, is snowballing and a full team wipe. That is a lot of gems on the floor for the side of Clouded Mines. The boss is going to be the next focus for late game, though. And they're going to run up here and destroy the boss about as fast as they destroyed Clouded Mines in that last team fight. Meanwhile, the camp had been picked up in the bot, so that's something that Clouded Mines is going to have to try to clean up here. Late game, though, starting to head in towards level 16. Still have about a level. They are going to rotate in here to mid and get this mid fort, which will give them a nice boost in XP. Meanwhile, Clouded Mines having to deal with this boss. Good split pressure. See the camp being stolen here as well. So right now, late game, though, kind of just having their way with this map. Take out the front wall here. That should be enough for 16. And now, actually, Clouded Mines coming in and deciding that it's time to go. They are in pretty deep here. Zach taking a lot of damage, trying to spin to win, get out. Troth doing a nice job of condemning and pulling them off, but now is going to be in a lot of trouble deep in enemy territory. Sonya does actually end up falling here. Tigerfish, though, getting very low from the Blade Storm and the poison damage, and they are turning around, but a two-man combo coming out from Swing. Lunara goes down. Hobbs is in a lot of trouble, caught in this slow, and it is going to be a 4-for-2 exchange here. And they are trying to also take down Ghost, or is Ghost trying to take down Star Knight? But it is going to be side of Clouded Mines that gets the team wipe. 2 for 5. That is exactly what Clouded Mines needed. They get the turn in. They're going to be able to push these lanes out. They should be able to get 16 if they split up and soak all the lanes as these web weavers push out. And late game, though, it's not. This is okay for late game, though. Side of Clouded Mines has been so far behind in this match that it's going to be difficult for them to be able to really come back and capitalize from this web weaver turn in. But that's the kind of fight that they needed to take, and it's the kind of thing that if that happens 1 or 2 more times, the momentum is going to shift to Clouded Mines, and late game, though, is not going to be able to just reset and come back like they have in this one. So we are going to see the top lane being prioritized for the side of Clouded Mines. Level 16 has been picked up here, so now on even talent tiers, even on even level as they first go in and try to engage this, the Holy Ground has caught out Zach. The Sanctification also coming down as they are going to be diving in on the members, and Crystal Aegis a little bit too late to really, I take it back. Zach has been saved. Hobbs, though, is now being dove in on. Sonya does end up falling. Froth also going to fall. Star Knight's so low. They are going to be able to get him healed up. And my goodness, the side of Clouded Mines, they have just turned on these last couple of minutes. And late game, though, just controlling so much of this early game. All of a sudden, Clouded Mines is just turned up the team fighting to 11. They don't even have ETC, but they're still turning it up to 11. Star Knight actually trying to catch somebody out with that Holy Ground. They've taken a lot of extra harass from the fort front wall there. Deep front wall. But yet again, a 2-for-0 exchange. And all of a sudden, We take a step back here and pretty even on the kill count. Pretty even on the levels. Still a bit of a structure advantage for late game though, but you know, you look at the map and as we head in towards the late game here, let's say Clouded Mines are, you know, 1 or 2 big team fight wins away, really being able to capitalize and be able to open up this win condition. But meanwhile, for the side of late game though, all they really have to do is win 1 big team fight after this. So again, you know, it's 1 or 2 team fights for Clouded Mines, but if they ever slip up and end up on a full team wipe, then all late game though has to do is go back into the top lane through past that where that top keep has already fallen, go straight to the core. So I have to see if Clouded Mines can continue to play this perfectly in the late game. We just see boss being started here for the side of Clouded Mines, but they are going to be here in time, and they're thinking about backing up here. The sound barrier coming out once again, popping all of these heroics as we see the sanctification also coming down. Boss on the back end is trying to harass, but Hobbs is going to end up going down along with the Sonya, and before you know it, once again, the side of Clouded Mines comes in, gets a huge team fight win, picks up the boss, and that is going to be the boss marching in the top lane. This could be keep. Probably won't be enough to end the game with 3 members still up here for late game though. Meanwhile, on the other side, we are seeing the catapults start to stack up a little bit. This is something that yeah, they're going to send Star Knight back to answer to this. Meanwhile, huge stun coming out, but we'll be able to pop the Iron Skin, but the Great Hari actually falling in return as Ghost comes in. They're able to get that Blade Storm out for the combo. They're gonna have to step back and refocus on the boss here. While Camp in the mid is pushing for Clouded Mines. No permanent damage to the core up for Clouded Mines in that top lane. They have successfully pushed the top lane out. They will be able to get that fort. They are winning the race to 20 now by a little more than a level. Both teams still pretty far away from a Web Weaver turn in, so we're not going to see the Web Weavers coming out anytime real soon. The side of Clouded Mines setting up, trying to see if they can find themselves a trap, but Clouded Mines doing a nice job rotating around and not worrying too much about trying to engage here pre-20. They want to get those 20s. Are baiting down here for this bottom camp a little bit. McCrackazak is going to be able to sniff this out. Do they want to go in? They have the leap available. They will leap in on the point, and a ton of damage initially coming out onto Kerrigan, and is the first to fall here in this team fight. They turn around and they get a lot of damage on the back line as the Great Hari goes in, gets a nice root. The sound barrier also coming in here as they are on the chase. Broth getting very low, and we do see Robwins also taking a ton of harass from Tigerfish on the back end, but Aegis will come down to be able to save him just in time. We do see the Blade Storm coming out, dealing a ton of damage, but ultimately it is going to be the side of Clouded Mines that end up losing 4 of their members. A 4-for-2 exchange. Weenus is the only one that makes it out. Malthael will return, however. Tigerfish is gonna have to answer to these 4 catapults here in the top. The question is, can late game though rotate here in time? Does not look like they will be able to do that. They are going to rotate towards the mid. They do not have their healer. You know, they don't have Lunara, which is a big portion of their siege damage. So they win the team fight, but they don't quite win it decisively enough to finish before the members of Clouded Mines come up. Swing getting a nice combo out. It is going to be a second keep. So once again, just taking the advantage it's gonna force Clouded Mines to have to continue to answer to this keep pressure, or to this core pressure, I should say. Meanwhile, the camp that started it all here in the bot lane was indeed picked up by late game, though, and is going to be pushing in. As this game is shaping up to be very even. 20 to 20. 13 to 14 kills on the kill counter. Still a bit of a structure advantage for the side of Clouded Mines, but I should say for the side of late game, though. But if Clouded Mines 5-0s late game, though, here, they can just march right through that top keep and go straight to core. So this is really coming down to that last team fight. Here we see in the mid side of late game, though, waiting to try and bring that trap. See, the catapults have built up onto the core here. McCrackazak going in with that leaf. Gets a ton of damage out of the Lucio. Venus goes down. That's going to be a big pick going over to late game, though. Are they going to try and snowball it? Do look like they're going through the top lane here. Clouded Mines going to try and still put together a defense. They still have all of their ultimates up, even without Venus here. And they are indeed going to go in for the core. The response is here. Holy Ground, but the Sanctification put way back. But we are going to see two members completely caught out here. The members of late game, though, running away with Ariel way back there. Wow, I don't know. I don't know about that one. I think they could have turned and tried to engage, but man, they left Ariel and Johanna out to dry there. Oh, man. 4 for 5, and you walk away and you leave your healer exposed. That is rough. That's just cold, man. Gold. Meanwhile, they're looking at starting a boss here. Oh, but a huge Holy Ground to cut off McCrackazak. The Blade Storm coming out, though. Going to be dealing a ton of damage. Malthael goes down, but returns again. How many times is Malthael going to return in this game? Able to clean up the core. 2%. Make it 4%. Has come off. He's doing a nice job of zoning. Oh, and Robwin's caught out a little bit there. The Kerrigan combo missing, but the bolt comes in from swing. They'll be able to get that pick. Clown Fiesta is the only word I could think of to describe this match for the last about, let's say, 2 or 3 minutes. Back and forth they go. Still very even on the kill counter, though. 17 to 17. But look at this build-up. Nice build-up in the bottom lane here. A ton of damage onto the final keep here. Like right now, the side of Clouded Mines more interested in trying to secure a turn in. And they will actually be able to get the turn in. Tigerfish actually popping the Tormented Souls. Venus on the backside, hitting that sound barrier. We do see the Maelstrom coming out. They dive in and get the combo onto McCrackazak. It's so tanky post 20. And we are going to see a ton of damage coming out onto the members of late game, though. Troth gets stunned. Aegis does come down. Troth should have the shield available. But we will see the Blamestorm coming out. But Samuro is the first to fall, along with Ariel. Krakazak low, Johanna falls, and that is going to be a huge team fight when Webweavers are pushing, and they should be able to walk through this top keep, and I think that is going to be game. Late Clouded Mines has come back here and gotten a huge advantage over late game, though, in the late game. Couple opportunities there maybe for late game to end the game. But Clouded Mines looking to take their first opportunity of the game and turn it into a core call. Rob wins, gets low, gets Kerrigan comboed. The GGs are coming out, and Clouded Minds has done it. What a huge comeback. They're going to end up winning game 2 and the series. Domination here from Clouded Minds on Tomb of the Spider Queen. I didn't forget region. It's Division C. What more do you really need to know? Anyway, very impressive comeback coming out from Clouded Minds. Very entertaining match for sure. I don't know, late game though, felt like they had that entire match the whole time, and I gotta go back. That one decision in the top lane where, you know, they just could have maybe had an opportunity to go core. The side of Clouded Minds popped all their ultimates and came out, and 3 of the members of late game though just dip out and leave Ariel and Johanna to die. That seemed like the tipping of the scales, as it were. Could not come back. Yeah, that is going to be it for me today, guys. Pretty incredible game coming out from both of these teams. Congratulations, Clouded Minds, coming out and picking up a big win. For NGS, I am Jayzon, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good night.